Good morning, folks. Today is the 16th of December and it is a Wednesday today. And today I just came across some more news regarding China and basically what they're doing at the moment. Now, for at least a couple of months, we have knew that China's treatment of the Uyghur population has been pretty bad, with the re-education camps and everything. And in light of everything that's been happening with the civil rights protests over in America to do with the likes of slavery and all that happened like more than 100, 200 years ago, and they're still talking about reparations for that there, it's kind of making me want to draw attention to the current modern day slavery that's happening in these re-education camps in China at the moment. Now, the Uyghur population, since honestly like the 70s, has just been um getting caught up in what is known now as sinicization. Now this term essentially means that the Han Chinese go in and they start breeding, just like, okay, we'll just send like millions of people there, and eventually the Zhanyang, the Uyghur population was mainly like kind of like Turkish looking, and that was kind of their genes. Back in like the 50s, and then the Chinese decided, okay, we need more Han population in this here. So essentially, they just sinicized the area, just kept said, okay, guys, just go there and we'll pay some good money for it and it'll be really good. And then we now look at what's happened now in 2020, and in that region, they are now like the majority are now Han Chinese. So the sinicization over the 50 years has worked, but the problem with this area is that it's like everywhere in this region is um it is just surveillance state. It's complete surveillance state, because there was an attack, I think, back a couple of years ago in Beijing, and they blamed it on the Uyghurs, and then they were just like, all right, yeah, we've got to control, see that area, it's just completely going down now. And that's basically the reason. They're just, I mean, it could be like the equivalent of 9/11 and the reason the Americans went into the Middle East. It could be their equivalent of that there, which kind of is a bad thing to point out on both sides of the spectrum, but hey, you've got to do it whenever you're trying to be impartial. Um, but more recently, what's came to light now, which is why I made the comment talking about the black slavery in the Americas and Western nations over the last 200 years, because this is modern day slavery. And the key distinction now, the key kind of like talking point is that cotton pickers, right? That used to be a definable characteristic of a slave trader. It's just like, okay, they pick cotton. Now the Chinese are they're using the Uyghur slaves as cotton pickers to help try and expand their global influence of like their fashion brands by getting them to pick cotton for pretty much free. I mean, if you look at what they're being paid, I mean, because the whole thing is the whole reason what they're trying to do is to basically say, okay, we are trying to get the entirety of China out of poverty, which they're trying to do, by the way, by 2021, which is the centurion or something of China, the CCP. But they're trying to get everyone out of poverty to make it look like, this is the revolutionary way to work the world. I mean, we treat our people okay, and we have massive benefits for it. So it's pretty alarming that they're basically providing, I guess, a housing, some food, but realistically not very much pay and nothing really to get them out of poverty. It's just trying to benefit the CCP's government system. And it's kind of working hand in hand with these re-education camps, because let's say you are an Uyghur and you have been sent to a re-education camp because of your race, because that is customary of the CCP. You now have the option. You can still, I don't know, work in the factory creating, I don't know, goods, or you can go out to the fields and pick cotton. There's not really much choice, and you can't just do nothing, because that is probably punishable by like death or jail. I don't really know the judicial system over there. I just know that death bans exist, and that's probably what they're feared about. Um, but it just kind of like illustrates the degree of control the CCP want over their constituents. I think you can go, it's crazy. You can go to a re-education camp, so that's pretty much becoming a slave. You can go to that there for having a relative overseas, going overseas, or just showing, a disloyal or a thought police, that kind of style. I don't agree with the government, and they'll be like, okay, time for you to become a slave. I really don't want to get caught in China, because that would be yuck, just yuck. So yeah, long story short, the common kind of bad image of cotton pickers used a couple of hundred years ago by the black slaves is actually what's happening now in China with Muslim Uyghur slaves. And I don't know why more people aren't angry about this. It's pretty alarming. Anyway, folks, that's my video today. Hope you enjoyed. Right.